In the end, it took less than 30 years for the world as we know it to fall. 95% of the population died. There were a litany of causes, not that it mattered in the end. Our infrastructure failed, and with no electricity, our communications, lights, and internet failed too. There weren't even enough survivors left to tend the fields and care for the remaining livestock. As if any of us had any of the necessary skills. Those few of us who remained barricaded ourselves into makeshift fortresses, although we had no idea what we thought we were hiding from. To paraphrase that ass T.S. Eliot, not with a bang, but with a whimper, the world ended. Almost. In the late 2050s, the builders ended the crisis by combining biology, precision mechanics, and thermohydraulics to make constructs from the dead, human and otherwise. These automatons took up all the necessary repetitive tasks that keep us alive. The constructs follow algorithms and programmable, mindless cycles. The dead of all species have taken the place of slaves, and like those slaves, they have become the basis on which our recovery and our economy grow. They are everywhere. As humans, we have lost almost everything. But we do have what humanity has always had. We have hope. Hello, 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 and thank you for waiting. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have agreed to join me tonight to play a game, and that makes me happy. These wonderful people are, starting in the corner, Robin, Thunderscape7. Tell us all about your own self and where we can find you.
I'm usually here, in the Discord or just, lurking in chat. I also sometimes do art, that I post online, and I'm Thunderscape7 most places, around the internet there. But most of the time, it's just me hanging out, talking with friendos.
Which is a good thing.
Yes.
Next, we're going to rush a little bit because I want to get into this game. Next, playing quests for us tonight. Phil, hello. What are you doing when you're not here?
Recently, I've been getting into what have I been getting? I honestly just more video games, honestly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Tuesday game
The Tuesday
of
game.
Infinite
Oh,
Darkness.
actually, I got to prepare for that because
Yeah,
I have
there
a
you go.
big thing going on with that one. Anyways,
All right, there you go. I saw that. I saw that gleam, the GM gleam.
yeah.
I have a plan.
Cars knows what's up.
Oh yes, thank you, Cars. By the way, meet us at the Discord, one of the most supportive places in the whole interwebs. That's all I'm going to say because it just is. I almost swore there, but there's a new YouTube thing. If you swear in the first 5 minutes, they will demonetize you. So not that we're monetized, but I just think it's funny to wait 6 minutes before I drop the F bomb.
Oh, it's
So
5 minutes now. I thought it was like
that
a minute.
it depends on which rumor you believe. I've heard anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, but either way, 6 minutes is safe. So, and we're probably there actually. Oh, because we do like 7 minutes of music intro at the start. They can listen to that. Let's see if there's any
Aw,
swearing in the
heck.
Marriage of Figaro. Next,
Marriage of Fuckero.
There it is.
there it is. All right, you spoke. You're next. Bison underscore Stonefist. What do you do?
That's me.
Where you at?
I do stuff here mostly. There's me here, and then there's me on Wednesdays, which is on hiatus because we are going to be doing a new module. Very excited for that.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be me in the future, running a Cyberpunk Red campaign.
Yes.
I have a crew. I have a plot, I think.
Yes.
And I have a whole bunch of DLC. So
nothing like writing an adventure
Mine's
around the assets that you have. I love it. But thank you for joining us this evening in that busy week. Speaking of busy, raced through the world and pushed the universe aside to get here on time. The mighty and wondrous Wayward Knight. Thank you for joining us. And what else do you do?
I am a Detroit-based actor and artist. I sell my stuff on the internet, write here if the
Bam.
button will work.
Shabam.
It needs an update, but I don't know when I'm going to get to that. Support your artist friends. You can find me almost constantly on the Discord. We have fun there, and I can't remember what else I was going to say.
So yeah, so we'll save that for next week. The part
have
you
a
forgot
shout
this
out
week.
now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, a thing. Oh yeah, kind of an announcement. You probably
I'm
think of
doing
like
all
a
the
whole
people that
thing,
would
eh?
remember that one.
I am going to be GMing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer TTRPG
Yeah.
coming very soon on Mondays.
Yeah.
Same
Sometime
bat time, same bat channel.
roughly starting
With
around
the
the end of the
bat
month,
file.
right? Ish.
Roughly starting around the end of the month, correct?
Ish. Yeah, that's as close as we ever get here. So for tonight, we are using. Sometimes I've been forgetting to do this. Our character artists from Hero Forge. The other art assets are mostly from Pixabay, and our virtual tabletop of choice for this evening is Roll20. Although I think I might do this with a still map and tabletop simulator. It occurred to me this afternoon, and I went, "Ooh!" So stay tuned. But that's enough of that foolishness. Let's do this.
Get to this foolishness.
Who do we want to start with? I want to start with the three in the garbage dump, in the scrap. The three of you are essentially, you just recently discovered this. You're in what's the top floor of a you don't know how many story building that used to be the office of a dump. Pardon me, a landfill. Pardon me. There's the word. And around it all and built up over it has been this added garbage of the scrap. So the methane being produced by the decomposing stuff underneath has been bubbling up and lighting up and causing fires. You guys have been video being off? Video is off in the overlay. Whose?
It's in like it's
like
off kilter.
Off kilter.
Yeah, I should have used a different word there. So,
I'm not sure what you
The
mean.
image
Oh,
itself,
yours.
not-
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I got you. I fix you.
It's not dirty 20 unless there's technical difficulties.
Mhm.
Meanwhile,
As
piled
I
up in
spill
garbage
my
around
water
that
all
building,
over myself.
the three of you have a moment to speak amongst yourselves while the producer fixes the camera.
Ducks.
So you should go.
Sacrifice the ducks.
Ducks.
See? Not so easy when you get thrown under the bus, is it?
Well, because we agreed, I believe we all had basically the same consensus of fuck. We need to get out, and
Yes. That's right. I remember now. Yes.
and there was
You,
just a low wall. Like there's a way to get out from
easy.
through the way we came in, right?
Yeah, you guys came in through the window. The roof is missing off this place.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're in sort of a hollow room. There we go. I think we're fixed now. Fixed enough. Everybody seems to be in their own boxes. All right, and filling those boxes. So you're in like a roofless, say second or third floor building, and around it is this mountain of green plastic. It's the scrap, right? And then underneath that, the fire's coming up from that. So you guys have realized, or no, you haven't realized yet, have you, that the base of the mountain, this flaming mountain, is surrounded by other technosophers waiting for you to
No,
come
we
out.
just know that the building is sinking.
Oh, that's what the trigger was. Yes, thank you. I got stuck into technical
And
world and
melting,
forgot the story.
sinking
Yes.
down.
Yes,
Yeah.
as it's melting, the building just sort of thunk and shifted a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And I think when we went in, I did notes recently. So
Yes, you have
remember a
many,
little
many
clearer.
notes.
I do. That we kind of reinforced the way, like the trail we led up through, like the up
Yep.
the caldera.
Yes.
So like in theory, we could find a safe spot to at least like figure out what we're going to do outside of this building.
Yes.
Yes.
From where you are inside the building, if you look out now, you can see the remains of it. It's starting to melt again, but you can see there was because you guys made a really solid path, multiple layers of water over it. So there is this sort of path leading down into this steamy, blue flame belching, smoke-filled valley. And with that, this is my new favorite mechanic. How many It's perception. So how many clubs do each of you currently have in your hand? 1,
None.
0, and not even gonna react. Okay. Sid, you're the only one that's got one, right? In hand?
Yeah.
Okay. As makes sense, you were the one that made that watery path up here. So you sort of scan down looking for weak spots because you saw it building on the way up. And yeah, you see way down at the bottom in the mist movement, just figures running around outside this area. You see 3 or 4.
Okay. Whatever we're going to do, we're going to have to do it fast. There's company down at the base of the hill. We'll have at least something to deal with once we get down there.
Well, we can't do it from in here, so I say we get out of this building.
Agreed.
So
And
you
he,
grab your loot. Yeah.
Grab the loot and sort of Sid kind of positions himself by the window, ready to help Artemis and Delilah.
So Sid's got one of the water umbrellas. Who's got the other one? I think it's Artemis, right? Yeah. And then Delilah, you came up with Sid. How are you going back down?
I guess with Sid.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody has to change their name to Nancy so I can have just a running gag in my head, Sid and Nancy, and that way I can listen to the Dead Kennedys. Yeah. You're right. So the 3 of you start step outside of the building. We're not going to roll on the way down because it's just a matter of keeping something that's already there. But as you start to
And
work
I think we have
down,
enough water for that.
Oh, you do. Yeah, you got plenty of water, and it makes a ton of steam. But again, you can from time to time there's a little gap through the steam, and by the time you get halfway down, you can see there's not 3 or 4 of them down there. There's a dozen, maybe more, and they're starting to sort of congregate because they can see what you're doing. They can see the path you're coming down, and they're starting to sort of. You can see they're as wary of each other as they are of you and of everything else, but they're all sort of slowly. We were talking about it before we went on stream, like ravens, waiting for the prey to die. Right, the brave ones are getting close, but then they have to jump back a little bit. Yeah, it's that. Yeah.
Did Verite tell us what was in the fire grenade that we haven't used yet?
These fire suppression thing? Nope. Nope. He just told you to make sure you weren't beside it when it went off. Yep.
Oh God.
I love the face of somebody that's just had a good idea.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I mean, I figure, okay, what I'm thinking is with what Artemis knows about the scrap, I'm assuming it's like out in the scrap, it's like you're basically you have to be careful for yourself kind of thing. You like it's dangerous.
Yeah.
So
it is, but it's live and let live, right? If you're not in my way, I'll ignore you. But if you got something like you guys are coming out of a place nobody's been able to get into.
Yeah.
Unless you are the worst technosophers in the world, you're coming out with shit nobody's seen before or had before.
Which is the point.
And it's much easier for them to bonk you on the head and take your stuff than it is to go in there themselves because they don't have a Verite to make them the gear. You are also, by the way, wearing the gear that they would need to go back in there and do the rest of it. So
I almost said the wrong name. Artemis has the fire suppression grenade. How far away are we from this group that is congregating?
You are.
Are we throwing distance?
You are now.
I got a present for you.
Because this is. I mean, these piles all form that gravity shape, right? They're all this. They're all about. I think it's 52 degrees or something is a natural slope for something like that. So yeah, you're above them, and they're having difficulty seeing you because you're standing in a cloud of constantly moving steam, but it's also a steamy. Methane actually makes the air shimmer even if it's not burning. Plus, there's a whole bunch of fire here, and that heat is making the air shimmer too. So it's hard to see you guys for sure. But you can. The closer you get to the bottom, the more and more and more you can see them.
Yeah, especially as they like she'd probably wait till they were like kind of congregating together, and then she's gonna throw the.
Absolutely. That would be that's a dexterity thing for sure. Oh dear.
And as we've as we've kind of already talked about, I do not have clubs, but I do have dexterity, and I do have a modifier on my dexterity, which is desperate dexterity.
Yes. Which means?
which gives me an automatic success in like exchange for fatigue. I'd have to look it up again. Fatigue
Okay, yep.
or like an injury.
We've got it here. Let me bring it up.
I looked
Artemis's
at it just
ears
earlier
and
today.
skills. That's not
Yeah,
it.
an automatic success at the cost of gaining trauma and a narratively appropriate characteristic.
Okay, so you tell us how the constant headache suffering Artemis figures this out to their own lack of benefit. But yeah, how does this work?
She sees it and knows that like with the amount of technosophers that have congregated, like even if we have like some form of like warning, it's going to be hard to fight them all
Oh yeah,
away.
yeah,
We're going to get like mobbed.
yeah.
And so she throws it, but in trying to get, because I'm assuming she's behind Sid and Delilah like she was when they
Yeah,
were going in. So
that makes
in
sense.
order to get it kind of over them in the right direction, she stumbles off of the path a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so
okay, I see.
Yeah, so she kind of
Ooh.
like stumbles off and can get back on, but like it's like that.
Oh, so your coat, okay, yeah, that's a nasty burn for sure, right?
Yeah,
Because that's melted
yeah.
plastic. Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Mm.
All runs up the side of your boot. I'm trying to think of I don't remember your character's wearing the big boots, so unfortunately that means you go in almost all the way to the knee because this needs to happen.
Yep.
And that
Yep.
melted plastic
And maybe
runs
she like falls
into
and
the
like catches
boot.
it on her hand or
Yeah.
something. It
Then-
can be like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
And
doesn't even have to get that far. It just has to press against her skin.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the
Yeah.
heat transfer.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
but the thing is, the reason I had it go in the boot is because it's horrible because you can't stop. Right? If you stop, it's going to melt and keep going. So you have to just let it burn while you keep walking down the hill. So maybe that
Yeah.
little bit of extra rage is what gives you that desperation. It's like, son, that fucking hurt, and heave.
That extra F bomb
Yeah.
gives you the 15 feet you need.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a choice because you did not specify before you flung. So, do you want it to land on or in the group of them? Or do you want it to land just short of that in the burning embers, therefore blasting the burning embers out at them in a steamy explosion?
I was
what is the
thinking
plan?
in the middle of their group.
Okay, because they are at
That's
the
what my
bottom
main
stand.
thought
Yeah,
was.
because the bottoms of these, because you're so close to the river, is already kind of marshy, as you remember coming up here. So yeah, you're about to release something into them standing all in that marsh. Okay, I love it.
Do I take the trauma in the dexterity or do I take it in the physical?
Because of the way you explained it, I would take a physical trauma, right?
Got it.
Is that what
and
other?
steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That
yes,
makes the
remember
most
your
sense.
first trauma in each of the in each of your characteristics is essentially free. There's no effect. It's not till you get to 2 or more. But when you get to 2 or more, they are harder to heal because you have to heal the 2 first and then the 1 to get back to 0.
Yep.
So with that, you pull your foot out, you hurl it in the air, and it's dark now. It's full dark. It's black out here because there's no lights. And so with all the steam, well, there's only light it's all blue. It's all underlit blue. Wow, from the methane. And you see this little package floating through the air. They all kind of look up. Oh, head, don't do that. Like the people in Hiroshima, I almost finished that sentence.
Sweet
And then I did, and I don't know why. Have the thought and shut up, Kevin. That's it, but that's how it comes towards
Content
them.
warning, accidental
Yeah,
trauma.
oops. And it splashes into the water, into the muck. It makes sort of a crater. It's quite heavy. And for a second, there's nothing. And then there's just sort of a whoomph, and a foam mushroom just sort of goes down the valley in both directions because there's too much of it to stop. It puts out all the fire along the edge at the bottom, makes sort of a ledge that they could stand on if they wanted to get closer, but none of them are wanting to get closer because they're all inside this gigantic foam bubble. You've seen the ones when they test the airplane hangars fire suppression and they fill up the whole room with the foam stuff? That's what's now sitting at the bottom of the only path out of here, full of angry technosophers who can't see and breathe. much.
Does burning the shit out of her leg count as an inflict?
It absolutely does, and if that didn't, this would have, because yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
that you are
Give her two,
inflicting.
then.
You're yeah, yes, yep, absolutely, because you are absolutely inflicting trauma on them. It's not physical trauma; they're not getting hurt, but they are suddenly. I mean, imagine it's like you're hunting, you're waiting, and all of a sudden, poof, you're surrounded in foam. Knowing that there's 20 other people in this foam with you, and you don't trust any of them. Plus those assholes just up a hill that just covered you in
chemical
foam.
foam.
Oh yes, a chemical
Yeah,
foam.
I know. That's why I was like, do we know what's in there? Because that would change her opinion on it. But
Yeah.
Somebody cut their discard deck and tell me red or black.
Got it.
Everybody
Yeah,
reached. I love friends.
Black.
Black. Okay. You see, like I said, the foam sort of put out the methane fire at the edge, at the bottom. It's made this sort of shelf. But at the edge of that, some of the foam that's turned to liquid starts to drift forward towards the actual methane field. And as it does, it starts to burn. That
the
foam's
thing
going
that's
to...
supposed to put out the fires is burning.
It
Or
puts out the
foam,
fires
it's
as a foam, but when it compresses down to a liquid, it's not like burning, but it's just like a slow bubble, like melt. It's melting more plastic around it.
Because it's probably caustic.
They may or may not be having terrible troubles breathing in there, all of you folks with oxygen masks on. What do you care?
I mean, to be fair, though, I think a lot of technosophers have
some of
breathing
them
masks.
some of them may well have. Nobody asked me before they threw the kaboom.
No.
So anyway, at the very least, they have no idea where you are, and they've got bigger problems right now. However, as I mentioned, the only hard and fast and easy path out of here leads into that mess. So, what next?
I think it's time for Sid to do his best Roosbar impression and moose his way through that.
You're just gonna put your head down and go? Okay.
The thing is, I'm looking at it. I know how I'm going to do it. I don't know which is more applicable, athletics or resistance.
Tell me what you're going to do.
Basically, he's going to make a path.
You're just going to walk in with the water umbrella going, hoping
the water umbrella going, that rebar that he had.
Yeah.
That's kind of like held out.
Okay. Sort of
and
checking in front of you. Okay.
And basically, yeah, he's going to barrel his way through and try to, if not clear the way, then make it easier for Artemis and Delilah to run. So I think resistance would be more.
What I'm actually thinking is firmness.
Firmness?
Because that's like force of will, right? To just walk down into that, knowing what's in there and knowing what you have to do and not knowing how the water is going to react with what you're walking into.
Okay.
Resistance will come up if it's toxic.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
I have firmness as a skill, so I use 2 cards.
Yep. Hearts is
the 4.
So that's
I do not
9,
have any hearts.
No hearts. So still one success.
Still one success.
So you gird your metaphysical loins and maybe pump that thing a couple extra times to get a little extra water running. Do you mention anything, because you haven't so far, to our fine and wondrous partner of the shower, Delilah, who's under there with you as you start to march boldly forward towards the foam.
Actually, I think before he does take off, he's like, Mom, I think you should probably stay with Artemis. I'm about to do something extremely stupid.
All right, then.
Change umbrellas.
Okay.
It's been nice knowing you, Sid. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you stay up there with Artemis. Perfect.
Artemis, who just burned the fuck out of her leg.
Yeah, limping.
She's going to need a doctor's help.
Like
now,
a plastic boot. Yeah. The nice part with your injury is it came with its own cast. It's a hardening plastic boot.
It will be.
Yeah.
Giant Lego brick.
Oh. And every time you step down, ow, ow, How is there lumps on the inside? How is there the lumps on the inside of Lego? Anyway, Sid, do you remember the Gillette foamy ad? Will it stop a runaway roller coaster? And there's a
do remember that.
huge mound of foam, and the roller coaster goes poof, right through, and it says, "No, it won't, but it is thick." That's
I do remember that now.
yeah.
Actually,
This doesn't explode like that. Somewhere between there and the picture of the guy snow blowing in a hole that's already 15 feet deep on each side.
Mhm.
Somewhere between those two is you walking with this water umbrella, and I'm doing my hands like this because in my head you're Inspector Gadget now somehow with your water umbrella on. But you
No,
just
that's fair. That's
you
fair.
walk into the foam, and as you walk in, the water hits the foam, it just liquefies it. It just drops, and it's almost like parting the white foamy sea here. It's just like
Mhm.
both sides of you. The thing is, you can't really see this, but the other two who are coming down behind you can see. He opens it up, but then as he passes, it starts. I mean, it's foam, right? It starts to that gap starts to close. What do you
You
do?
look at Artemis and I say, "Can you run?"
I'm going to whether I can or not, and she will grab like Delilah's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Delilah was gonna run.
And they will run.
Like running in one ski boot.
You know what? She's like,
You guys,
it's survival at this point.
Just
I
bam,
can
bam,
deal
bam
with the
down the
pain
hill. Now,
later.
what are you doing? Following the same gap?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, and so you guys into that. The foam starts flying in every which direction. You can just see through all the mist. It would be quite challenging as you're following along. Just like you're just following the shallow spot, this sort of closing V in front of you, Sid. You're just trying to go straight forward, right? You're just trying to get through.
And
Foam
bowl
party,
over
yeah.
any bowl over any
Foam party
technospheres in the way.
/OnlyFans, Scott. Why would you pay? You can't see anything. It's foam party. Rooms full of foam. Ooh, there's naked people in there. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe the technosophers get really freaky at night. I don't know. Maybe that's why Artemis said it's dangerous at night.
Sid, you burst out the other side, pointed roughly down valley. There's a couple of technosophers around you, but I mean, you come out of this foam flying everywhere, water still pouring off you. The fire's way back there. You were just now a raining umbrella, right? And you come stumbling out of this stuff and sort of get your footing again. And by this time, with none of that heat, you can practically see through the screen of water around you. You're so used to it, but you can see them. And then one of them, you can't tell from the sound of the water. One of them looks at the other one, and the other one just goes, and they just
Not worth
none of
it.
this. Like they're looking. None of their buddies have come out, right? None of them have come out of the foam. This monstrosity with a piss helmet on. It's a pith helmet joke. Yeah, it's
Pith helmet.
You got his pith helmet. It's pissing everywhere. Sorry, that's really rude. I shouldn't do that. But for the purposes of the joke. Anyway, yeah, you got stuff sticking out of your backpack. You smell like melted plastic. You got that look in your eyes like somebody who's just done something really, really brave and is now suddenly out of danger and kind of trying to figure out what to do next.
And didn't get it.
Yeah, exactly. A couple seconds later, out behind you, woof, out of the foam, these two come bursting forth.
Artemis runs into Sid.
And then the
She
two
has
of you
one
were
leg, she
standing
can't
there with
stop.
these rain umbrellas on, just standing there up to your ankles in the swamp that is already down here, plus the foam's melting into it, and it's just getting squishier and squishier. And you realize that there's no real way to turn these off. Like there's no switch, at least. There's lots of, I'm sure, if you got creative, but there's no switch to shut this off. As long as there's pressure, it's going to keep going, or until you run out of water.
Well, Artemis is going to take the hat off at least. It might still
Check it
be...
down your backpack, and it's just pouring out behind you. Yeah.
There's an ad on Twitch right now.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be
5
doing that.
seconds.
That's supposed to be ads.
Well,
I
but
am
I think
Bird.
that just happens.
There we go.
Okay, we're back. Apparently there was ads. Sorry for the folks that missed. These guys got to the bottom. They escaped and are now trudging towards the door, which is fairly close by. That's just how I roll. Yeah. The three of you, Artemis, you realize where you are quite quickly. Even though it always changes in here, there's sort of a vibe that you get if you're out here enough, and you are out here enough. You take them directly to the wall, to that door, through the cabinet, and out into the disused train station.
Swearing under her breath the entire time
Yep.
because her skin is burning.
Do you go first through, Artemis?
No, she does not.
Okay, who's going through first?
Sid's gonna go through
The
first.
leading question.
He's gonna take the Barella off first.
Just as you get there, it conveniently runs out of water. Did it? Was it last time I did wiggle, 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 wiggle? Yeah. No? I know I posted that a couple places recently. It's an appropriate response to a lot of things.
So yeah,
and an inappropriate response to even more. Sid, what are you doing?
Sid sets the pack down beside the door.
Yeah.
Looks back to Artemis. And it looks like he's deciding on whether he wants to say something, and then decides against it, and opens the door.
Okay.
He's got his forge hammer in hand, just in case.
Do you take you said you took the water umbrella off. Do you take it with you, or are you leaving it here?
He takes it with him. It's
Okay.
it was just in case something happens on the other side. He's
Sure.
a little paranoid.
Yeah.
She does have a pressure rifle on her back.
Yes. Yeah. Fair enough. I asked because Sid, as you crawl out of the cupboard, basically, it's the cupboard that's been turned into a secret
Narnia.
passage, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But smaller and under a really shabby broken porcelain sink, like a bathroom sink, because it's a train station, right? So yeah, you come crawling out of that. You first become aware of the shoes, and then the nice pants, and then the tunic, and then almost professionally perfectly neutral face of a militia officer. Now you've met, you know how it works here. You've been here long enough, and you've met Coes, who is sort of, I'm not going to put you on the scale anywhere, but you're sort of here. This guy, is
adjacent,
like
yeah.
3-4 levels up from there. This is the kind of militia that doesn't come out of the office much. A little bit of gray hair on the temples, a sort of military cut. They're not military, they're just cops, but he's got that sort of officious look about him. And he's just sitting on one of those horrid plastic chairs they put in train stations when they don't want you to sit still. You'd rather walk around than sit in them. He's sitting in one of those, somehow looking comfortable as you come out, and he just kind of smiles.
Constable?
The other two behind you hear that as you're crawling through. Who's second?
Well, Artemis would stay last
Yeah,
again.
I think that was the idea. So, seeing that Artemis plans on staying, Delilah, you go or stay?
When did I hear him say constable?
Just as you were deciding whether you were going to go or stay. So you have the information before you get to decide. Thank you for clearing that up.
I'm going to.
Uh-oh.
We're like away from the fire, right?
Oh yes, yeah. It's the equivalent of a block away. It's 2 mountains and a corner away from here.
Okay.
And it hasn't gotten any worse or better. It's just kind of settling down back to how it was.
I'm gonna kneel.
Okay.
Not visible, but close enough to the hole to hear what's being said.
Okay. So you can only see boots and nice pants, but only up to the knee.
Okay.
Artemis, you see Delilah on all fours, looking through a hole in the wall. And on the other side, you can just barely see Sid's feet as he says, "Constable." Your right foot in my head is probably the shock's wearing off by now. It's probably really starting to pound, probably almost as bad as your head. Just like both ends, and they're not in sync. Oh,
Yeah, it's like when I had that double migraine, that dueling
Oh.
migraine with
Oh, wow. One in each half of your brain.
Doom,
That's
doom,
hitting.
doom, ow.
Oh.
Yep. Ow, ow, ow,
That's-
ow, 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 ow.
Oh, oh. Well, it's okay when you do it. That's. But yes, how do you respond?
She'll kind of look confused, like, okay, does she? It's not illegal to go out into the scrap.
Nope.
So I guess she's just. Would she have any idea as to why a militia individual of? She doesn't know the ranking at this point.
Nope. It makes
Be there?
0 sense because very, very pointedly, the militia do not go outside the walls.
And he couldn't have been responding to like the scrappers because like that just happened.
They did, and they're not going to call the cops.
No,
right?
no, they're not.
They wouldn't come
But, like,
anyway, but they're not the people that
yeah.
would call them.
No.
They didn't think they were
So
in
it's
trouble.
like-
They thought they were, honestly, from their point of view, you guys probably look like a bunch of fairly talented teenagers out on an adventure, and they figured they'd just take your stuff and teach you a lesson.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. So like I think she's trying to think of like why is a militia man at the rail yard? That's kind of weird. But she'll kind of just
I think I know the answer already, but how many clubs do you have in your hand?
none.
No idea. I'm not giving you 0 hints. You can think whatever you want, but you're getting 0 hints from me.
Hey, I don't know. Maybe I can. This will take 5 minutes, and I can read.
You could.
Are Coas's boots in such a state that we would know if it's Coas or not?
It's not. These are
I hope
office
Artemis would
boots.
know. Maybe she wouldn't. I don't know.
Monty Python quote here. How can you tell he's the king? He hasn't got shit all over his boots. Yeah, Coas has
a
got
bit
shit all over
more-
his boots.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like Sid wouldn't have called him constable.
Yes, that's true
True.
too. Yeah, he knows him.
Sid talks funny, but
So yeah, without being able to see the feet, yeah, you can I'll at least give you that there's a militia out there. That much I'll give you.
Yeah, she'll wait and see what happens because she's
Okay.
behind 2 other people. So.
All right.
Yeah.
At that instant, we're going to cut away. Coas, you had a special mission you were going on. What was that mission?
Got a special mission. I thought I was just going back
Or-
to do some more
Or,
cases.
well, yeah, okay. So which case
Yeah,
were you
to-
going back to work on? Which
Oh,
one?
right. Yes.
Hello.
It was...
Whoops.
What's going on? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the
A
case
word
that-
was used. Yeah.
the case that Coas is going on. It was kind of a routine break-in.
Okay.
Someone had breaking in
Oh,
to
perfect.
a usually there's a lot of vacant places
Yeah.
here in Florence,
Yep.
as is after after what happened, but certain locations are deemed at least my mind here, certain locations are deemed kind of almost historical
Yeah.
in a way,
Like the
I guess.
museum. Yeah.
Yeah, some
That
places
was-
are
yeah.
while they're abandoned, there's to not be kind of
Yeah.
messed with, and people generally know that.
Yep.
And so this is kind of someone breaking into this when you should know better.
Yep. Perfect.
And so Coas has gone ahead and been assigned to that.
And it is in this case it's one of the museums that they used to, when the city was functional and a tourist trap. It was one of the many museums in this area, but it's not comfortable living in a museum, right? So they're empty, a lot of them. But like you said, it is absolutely it absolutely had stuff in it, and you're not supposed to steal from there. When you get there, you have a skill, right?
I do.
Investigate, yeah. So yeah, give us that and burn up the
Alright.
resource, because I know you have to use the resource.
Yes. So interrogation. Oh no, search for traces. That's what it is. So it is going to be a spade. So I'm
Yes.
going to go ahead and play my. I don't have good cards here.
Or tell me what else you're doing to investigate if you don't have that skill.
I do have the skill,
Mhm.
but I'm thinking of something later on. But you know what?
That's why I love this
Uh,
game, because you're looking down at your hand going, yeah, but
I can tell what might be unfolding, but you know, Koyas doesn't know what might
Yeah.
be unfolding with
Mhm.
the rest of the group, so he won't
Yeah.
have the
Nope.
knowledge to save. Because I was gonna save for the just in case they got a bit of trouble with the law.
Yeah.
I have a certain skill that manipulates and exploits the law.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So, actually, I will make an argument here.
Yep.
This is Phil arguing here.
Yep. Oh yes.
This is just going to be, instead of like searching for traces immediately, he's just going to take a stock of his surroundings and just
Yep.
kind of see if there's anything out of the ordinary that he can see with perception. 'Cause I love
Okay.
that skill.
Yep. Give Perceptify for me.
So I'll just take a
Perceptify.
one
One success
single
because it's a club.
ace.
Yep. Absolutely. The one thing you figure out after having a quick look around, a number of things were stolen. The person that did this is not a professional. I mean, there's footprints, not enough to trace them, but like they came in here, walked through the dust, took this thing, went over here, took this thing, went over. You can follow the trail around. But the stuff that they took is eclectic, to say the least. It's all kinds of different, like there's Roman artifacts, there's texts, there's scrolls, there's pictures, there's photographs. The one thing that ties them all together is they are stupendously valuable and highly portable. Like the Mona Lisa is sort of only this big. Mona Lisa isn't here. This isn't the Louvre, but you know, it's only that big. It's easy to steal, right? So yeah.
They're like, I know they're like historically valuable. Would they be valuable in our time now, as in like for money?
Yeah, to collectors always collect, right? So yeah,
Collectors, yeah.
these are things from epochs of humanity that you might never get there again, right? The level
Sure.
of development. So they are world history.
Okay. And
Like Dead
so I
Sea
get a general
Scrolls
sense of
and
how much things, how many things were
when
kind of
when they
taken.
still used florins, you know how much stuff
Yes, not the
fit
value, because that would be
yeah
a bit too difficult, I think, to
would fit in a
understand.
large backpack. That's the thing. Somebody here knew what was valuable and took portable stuff. Like you look around and there's still some valuable art on the walls, but it's big. So somebody thought this out. And yet they were really dumb the way they did it. Like they made no attempt to hide what they were doing.
Not quite a
And-
smash and grab, but pretty close.
Yeah, they didn't break anything. They took their time, but they didn't sweep their footprints away. That sort of stuff.
How did I? Maybe this you might argue me. Search for traces here.
Yeah.
Would I figure out how they managed to get in and get out?
Because of the footprints, that's easy. Like you can look and they broke there was wood over a window over here. They broke that from an alleyway, and they look outside. Okay, it's dark out there. Good, not bad. You're used to breaking with break-ins before. They came in here. They walked along here. They took this. They went in this other room. They took this, and this because it's one of those museums. It's like an old sort of castle itself. They went through 5 or 6 different rooms. Took 7 or 8 different items total. Maybe as many as 10. You're not 100% sure. All of them valuable. All of them small. Broke another window and went out the other side. As you look out that window on that side, you hear, "Hey!"
And I go ahead and look, and the voice I assume is familiar to me.
Oh yeah. What
Yeah.
did we call him? Was it Thomas? I want to call him Thomas. Thomas, yeah.
Thomas.
Yep. Thomas is sitting at the end of the little alleyway, just sitting on a barrel with his feet kicked up on another barrel that he's got over sideways. He's not. I'll give you cop instinct. You just kind of look right away. He's not wearing a backpack at the moment, but he's just grinning at you.
I'm gonna step over, kind of step out of into the alleyway.
Yeah.
Thomas was it?
Yep.
Tommy.
Yeah.
How you doing, Thomas?
I am doing really, really well.
Oh, and why is that?
I found a magazine.
Oh,
Yeah.
a magazine.
From a long time ago.
Oh, and where did you find this magazine? And he's gonna kind of get down on a knee and kind of
He looks at you right in the eyes and says, "Under a mattress, a really old mattress."
Oh. Sometimes you might find like old currency over there. Under mattresses, people used to love to shove stuff under there.
That's yeah, sure, but this was better.
Can I see, or do you want to wait till the end in case you get something better?
I said, I'm all done with this one. I got to find another one though. And he reaches into an inside pocket. He's like, it's no backpack, and just pulls out this folded in half magazine, and flops it open. And he looks. He says, as he hands it over, "What's an auction?"
An auction?
And you look down, and it's an auction catalog with all the expected prices in it and all these object d'art. This is like, you know, the fall happened 50 years ago, sort of thing. This is from 150 years ago. This is like the pages are just crinkle, crinkle, crinkle as you turn them.
You know,
There
an
you are.
auction. An auction.
You get to about page 4 and you see somebody has used on this priceless artifact itself, a priceless artifact, has used a quill and ink to circle stuff. Some of them he circled and then crossed out. And you're looking at the list going, yep, 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 yep. It's all the stuff that's missing.
Huh. I don't know what an auction is, but this is actually a really amazing find. I don't know if you know this, but this actually is helpful for a case that I'm working on. You found a clue.
You wouldn't believe what else I found, though.
What else did you find? And
Let's
where did
just
you-
say, how many Picassos do you have in your bedroom?
No shit. Damn. Where did you find this?
In there? And he points behind you to the museum.
You said you found it under a mattress, though.
Oh, the magazine. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you
the
meant the
magazine.
sketch. No, the magazine I found in a house, one of the big houses up by my place.
Oh, really? Maybe you said there's a lot of Picassos in there?
No, there's a lot of Picassos in there.
Ah,
And he points back at the museum. There was nothing in the house. The only thing that was there was the magazine. Are you sure you're a cop?
yeah, I'm sure. Words words have meaning. So when it's best to specify certain information.
I'm really happy that you told me to steal shit.
No, I didn't say steal shit.
What?
And if anyone asks you anything, do never say the word steal. Steal is always, it always has negative connotations. You are just finding stuff.
Liberating.
Finding.
Can I use liberating?
No, because you can't use liberating because then that means it belongs to someone else. This is finding. Liberating belongs to someone else, and you can't take stuff that belong from someone else. Do you understand that? You're not stealing anything.
Yeah, but the people that this stuff belonged to are all dead.
Right.
So I just
it
took their
doesn't belong
stuff and
to
put it in my
anyone
bedroom.
anymore.
Nobody comes here.
Yeah. So you're not liberating from dead people because dead people can't be liberated from.
Right.
So you're finding this. You're like an archaeologist.
So I'm
There.
allowed to take
Nice.
it?
Yeah. If it's from dead people, sure. Just not recently dead. Dead.
So like you told me last time,
Exactly.
I'm allowed to steal.
Don't use the word steal because
Well,
then people are gonna.
I have
get
to
you
call
hard.
it something else, but I get
Yes,
to do
exactly. Yes.
it. Okay.
So yeah, you want to take me to that house that you found this magazine in, or just tell me where it is? You don't have to take me.
I'd
Yeah,
rather
probably.
not, because I didn't go through the other rooms yet.
How about this? Well, why do you not want me coming with you for the other rooms? Is it because you want to keep everything that's there? Because if you do, I'm sure we can work something out.
I'm kind of running out of room and I don't have a book for there, but if I see something nice, yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping to find another one of those. Can I have it back?
Yeah, you can.
I got a wheelbarrow. I can come back for some bigger stuff later.
Kind of give it.
Yeah.
How about this? You give me, you show me the place, and we'll comb through it together. And I'll tell you, and I'll show you what things are better to. I almost got myself there. What things are better to borrow or not borrow, find? There we go. And I'll show you the ropes, because there are some things that you shouldn't take, especially if it's like necessary items for people.
Like medicine. Yeah, I learned that
Medicine,
one.
do not
Yeah,
take.
I learned that one before.
Food is another thing. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
abundance of food, but it's still best to go through official kind of things for food.
Yeah, they'll
plus
give you
you
free
never
food at
know-
most places.
Mhm.
I always just go home though, because Mom has free food too.
Yeah.
So you want to go look at that house?
Yeah, let's take a look at the house.
And he just does that thing where like, okay, we've decided, and just turns and walks.
Right.
You can he quickly takes you through the streets.
As he walks away.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't think I'd become a babysitter, but
to a
let's
thief.
hope I'm good at this.
To a thief who is convinced that you keep telling him to steal.
You're raising a Kender, Cass.
So you get to this building, and he goes around the back and shows you the window that he's broken here to the wood that he's knocked out of the here to get into.
And quick question before we go in: have you noticed anyone coming in and out of this building? Have you watched it? Have you cased it out?
Kinda. I sat in the back alley too scared to move for about 3 hours before I finally came up and broke the wood and came in, and nobody moved, so does that count?
Usually it's best to kind of do a full sweep, or especially around an area that you're kind of going to be entering and looking into. It's usually best to do a full sweep. That way you can take note of all the entrances and exits in case something bad happens and you need to get out in a hurry.
Okay, as soon as I can walk next time, I'll remember that.
Yes.
But we went in here, and I was so scared I almost peed.
Okay.
And he starts climbing in the window.
As a 10-year-old.
That's why you don't start with big houses. You start with like small little apartments that have been abandoned for long times. Apartments are easy.
Yeah, but look what I found here. Like, look, and he starts to show you the magazine again. And stuffs it away and says, I didn't look in here. And he just walks over and just shoves these 2 huge wooden doors, and they swing open. Dust everywhere, just off everything inside.
Another thing, kid, is when you're going through somewhere, always be cautious, be careful, go slow. You have time, right? If you haven't seen anyone come in and out, we have time here. You don't need to rush things, and rushing things can cause mistakes.
He's standing there looking into the room, absolutely frozen.
Then I
like
kinda
he
look
didn't
over
hear a
past him.
word.
Yeah.
And you hear him say, holy fuck. And you look in, it's like a man den circa 1700, right? Like the heads, animal heads on the walls, and shields and crossed swords, and huge leather and brass chairs, and desks 20 feet long and 10 feet wide. They're not even practical. The walls are leather lined, the floor's a teak. It's one of those.
Do I see any items that may have recently been in a museum?
Not here, no.
Nope.
They're at his house. Where you met him the first time. He took him home. And then came back to wait for you because he knew you were going to come check out the theft. If it had been another cop, he just would have buggered off, right?
Patron.
Oh, this is nice. Nice place. Oh, also, quick thing. You will have to put some of the stuff back from the museum.
Yeah, it doesn't all fit in my room anyway. You can take some of it back when you go. But look at that fireplace. Is that weird?
I look over the fireplace. Is there anything weird about it?
It's got no back. The fireplace goes in, and there you can see the brick wall, and it's been broken in, and beyond that you can see a tunnel going down with a ladder in the wall.
That is weird. How about you go explore the other rooms while I check it out?
Okay, a quick interrupt because I don't appear to have explained myself very well. Thomas went to the museum that you got called to, stole shit. That got found out. You went to investigate. Well, during that length of time when they found out about it and you investigated, he went home to Artemis's patron's house and dropped off the shit in his room. And so he's got like Picasso's hanging on his wall and tiny bits of statuary and a couple of Dead Sea Scrolls holding up his books. And then he
I was a
came
bit confused
back.
there too.
Yeah. So then he came back to wait for you. If it hadn't have been you that showed up, he just would have buggered off when the cops showed up. But because it was you, he waited.
Yeah. I didn't
thought
pick
they
up
were
on that.
two thieves.
Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
pick up on that.
Yeah, I did not. I'm glad I stopped and explained then because I saw a lot of blank faces. So, and that just means I didn't do my job.
Honestly,
So.
I was waiting for Coas to end up accusing him of something and him not actually doing it.
Oh no, he did it.
That's what I was.
Oh no, he bloody did it.
Well, I thought
he's just doing it
for a
100%
second
guilt
there,
free.
I thought
different shit.
I thought he got the magazine and the stuff that was circled in from this house, meaning he found the magazine with the stuff circled. In his house.
No! I didn't make that clear either. Yeah, he found the magazine and went through it and circled the stuff that was small and expensive, and then went and stole it. Yeah,
got it.
And he was planning on coming back later with a wheelbarrow to get the next size up stuff that he still wants.
Okay.
So, yeah, he is treating it as a way to decorate his room. Money's worthless in this world, but he's probably, from what you saw on the walls, got 3 or 4 million florins worth of art in his just barely teenage boy's bedroom.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a better talking with him afterwards.
Watch him ask Artemis to make art out of it.
So we cut back.
But now you're at the house that he found the magazine in. So, and you found this huge unexplored lounge with a secret tunnel behind the fireplace.
Yeah, how about this? You go explore the rest of the house, try to find any rooms that you haven't been in, and try to find stuff that is not. So let's make something interesting is not always just monetary value. What makes something interesting can be something unique, something out of its class, if you will. Like I don't know, like, have you ever seen those? I've heard about them, but they're like these like 20-sided die. Like that would be something to find. If you could find like a set of those, while it doesn't have much monetary value, it's something good. So try to find that. That would be interesting. I'm gonna take a look at this.
Okay. And he just turns around and walks off into the rest of the house.
All right, I'm gonna take
heads upstairs actually, because that's where it was one of the bedrooms that he found it in, the last one in. So he's gonna go up and search the other bedrooms.
I'm gonna take out my hand-wound lantern. I'm gonna wind it up.
Yep.
And then the other hand, I'm gonna take out my my hand repeating hand crossbow.
Yep. And going.
Step on through, but before I step on through, I'm going to. Is there any windows into this big foyer?
Yes.
Area. Yep. All right.
Like most places, when the people inside died, they board up the windows. So they are there, but they're all boarded up.
Okay.
But that means most of the glass is still intact because they boarded them up. So kids and stones weren't a problem.
I'm gonna take a quick second here to prepare an exit for myself.
Yep.
Should anything happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna break open the window.
Yeah.
Push
a couple boards out. Open it and then push a couple boards out of the way. Yeah.
Out.
Absolutely.
And then is there you said there was a main doorway that he pushed?
Yep. To go in,
close it up.
Double doors. Okay. Yeah. Inside or out? You're gonna be inside or out?
I'm gonna be inside. I'm essentially locking him from getting into this tunnel.
Yeah.
Because I worry what this tunnel might be, and I don't want a kid following behind me.
Absolutely.
So I sent him off as a distraction, so I can close up the doors and kind of use like a couch to barricade it.
Sure. And then what are you doing?
Heading down into the tunnel.
Okay. You start climbing down this ladder. You can see with the lantern, it's probably 20 meters down, 60 feet for our American friends. And then at the bottom, it's just kind of this tube with the ladder in it. And at the bottom, it's just a hallway that goes off to one side, all bricked in.
In this hallway, can I see?
When you climb all the way down, you can. I wanted to make sure you were doing that.
Yes,
Trick
I am
Astley.
climbing all the way down.
Yeah. So yeah, all the way to the bottom. You kind of turn to look, and what you're looking into is a huge wine cellar, massive, thousands of bottles, all in racks, all covered in dust. The thing is, they're all at least 100 years old. So wine is a strong word for what is in those bottles right now. At that moment, you hear a scream from upstairs.
Fuck.
And we're cut back to the scrap. Actually, the railway yard. Yeah, let's do that. So, Sid, you are the only one that can see the officer involved, and they see you, and they're still just sitting there. It's not, like I said, there's zero emotion. It's just a neutral, sitting, waiting character.
So yeah, I mean, Sid's kind of making his way out of Narnia. He's gonna, you know, when he said it, he was kind of halfway out of the cabinet to begin with. So he's gonna, turn around. He's gonna grab his hammer. Look Delilah in the eye and just very quickly shake his head.
Okay.
Very, and sort of make his way up, and sort of stands up, and then sets the hammer down, like bang.
Yep.
And
making
sort
a point.
Of leans back against the cabinet, mirroring the militiaman's.
Absolutely. Got
stance.
the stance. Delilah and Artemis.
After that.
What are you doing?
I imagine we're just like up against, like listening, like two old bitches outside the door.
Yeah.
After a couple of seconds, they break the silence, very carefully not introducing themselves in any way, shape, or form. You've been seen to head into the scrap a couple of times now, and it's been noticed. We don't have anything wrong with that. We'd just like some reports when you come back out. What did you see? Who's in charge out there now?
Who's in charge out there? He just sort of gives them a look.
Yeah.
It's like, is anybody in charge out there? Chaos, gravity.
Well, the area right around where you came out of, and he's kind of looking at this cupboard. He knew it was in here somewhere, but he obviously didn't know where it was until you opened it.
Yeah. A couple of assholes here and there. Nobody's really in charge.
Well, what we'd like from you and your friends, very pointedly not looking at the cupboard, is reports of anything strange. If it does look like any of them are organizing into a group large enough to be dangerous, just let one of us know.
The scrap doesn't stick around long enough for anyone to organize anything. There's a mountain that's falling apart, and that's where we were. That's it. We found some shit. It's all broken.
That explains the smell. And you realize at that point you reek like melting plastic. I mean, you walk through clouds of it for hours. You also realize, like, you've got Verite tech hanging off of you. You've got old tech in your backpack sticking out here and there. He has very pointedly seen none of it. It's this. It might as well be your engineer's robe with your shirt over it.
Yeah. Which is being covered. The apron is more.
Oh yes, and he's very carefully has not called you engineer, even though your hammer is right there. Yep. I like this. This works so well.
What's the militia got to do with the scrap?
And he kind of looks at your hammer and grins like you'll understand. He says, "It has come to the attention of certain persons in the Citadel that you might be a useful source of information, and therefore we have been informed to lightly observe you. And I thought rather than fucking around following you, I'd just come right out and ask. Couple pages once a week. Make shit up. I
Artemis
don't
dislikes
care."
this.
Sorry?
Artemis dislikes this.
Yes, yeah, you guys are hearing this through the wall.
Yeah.
Couple pages once a week. Doesn't even have to be true.
I'll see if I can fit it in.
That's all I ask. Now I'll get out of here, so your friends can come through, shall I?
Might be for the best.
And he does that sort of kickstand where the leg comes up and then boom, and that's enough momentum to get him to pop up out of the chair, and he just flows out the door. Yeah, you're not militia. You don't have any militia background, but that's a killing machine that just walked out of here. That is a highly competent human being. And they walk out, the door just thunk behind him at the train station.
Yeah. He waits about 5-10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then knocks on the cabinet door. Safe to come out now.
Delilah? In my head, you still got your butt in the air because you were crawling through.
As she comes out, Sid says, "Hey there, Delilah."
Yeah.
What's it like in Scrap City?
Awful place. Yeah, no, she makes her way through.
And there's bits of soot and bits of plastic falling off of you as it cools off and falls away. You also notice the smell. Of course, the way that works, you smell Sid, and Sid can smell you, but you kind of can't smell yourselves because you're used to it already.
And everyone can smell Artemis and the burning skin.
Oh, yeah, because, yeah, yours has got an extra smell, that sort of barbecue odor. But, yeah, you clumped through last. At this point, Artemis, this is really the first time you've had a chance to see, like to take a second and look down. Your boot is basically sort of welded to your pants, and where the two of them come together, it's burned through the material of your pants, and just a little line that goes about halfway around one of your calves. I am basing this on an injury I got shoveling a hot patch out of the back of a 5-ton dump truck into filling potholes. And the idiot driving the truck thought there wasn't much left, and he didn't know there was people in the back, so he tilted it up to dump it, and I went out with it. So yeah, and I went out with the hot patch, and it got in my boot, and I got burned, so I know exactly what this feels like.
Yeah.
It also sticks, especially when you got leg hair.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it tells you about Artemis that she looks at this and is like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Guess I got new shorts now.
So it's cold and set. I'm not gonna do any more damage here, but it is going to hurt.
It's gonna suck.
Getting this
it's
off.
Gonna suck
Yeah.
for a while. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just getting it off, cause yeah.
Yeah.
Sid kind of looks at it and he's like, I might be able to do something about that. And he takes his forge hammer and sets it down to palm nailer.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you set it down, I'll be able to crack it.
My foot is in there.
Yes, but it's a cast. Crack the parts around. At least get your boot out.
You break my foot, I will break your balls. And she'll put her boot up that way.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, basically what the idea is, he'd be cracking it like an egg.
Yeah, making little weak spots. Yeah, I got you. This is going to require a certain amount of thought. I'm thinking this is like reasoning.
He's also kind of looking to Delilah.
Oh no, this is gear. This is gear. Yeah,
I'm not a doctor sort of way.
So just before we give Delilah a chance to have some input here, I just want to mechanize Sid's action. I'm thinking gear, right? Because
Yeah.
you're using your hammer.
Mhm.
So yeah, you'd be spades plus whatever training you may have.
That's really all I can do is the
That's a
one.
club.
Fuck.
And I'll make it work. I'll
That's a
just
club.
Do
You need a
it's
spade.
I need a spade.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is for gear. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're gonna try and tell me you did it with reasoning instead. in
Yeah.
which
No.
case you need clubs.
No. I don't have. That doesn't work on any of them.
No.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay. Well, you think of that, Delilah.
He's not going to do anything then.
He's got the
Valid.
hammer and he's looking at this and this huge hammer's going. Dung, dung,
Yeah,
dung, 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 dung,
big
dung,
Delilah's
dung,
hammer.
dung, dung, dung.
gonna gently put her hand on his hand that has the hammer, and she's gonna be like,
Dung, 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 dung.
she's gonna switch his hammer off and be like,
Dung, 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 dung.
I think we need a more delicate touch.
Sid just sort of sits there. He's got that I need to do something.
Yeah.
And he's just like, right, fine. And he kind of at least lets or does what he can to make Artemis at least a little bit more comfortable while.
So as you're sort of,
Delilah is
I'm trying to figure out what to do. All three of you feel it, but I mention it because Sid's sort of at a loss for things to do. Behind you in the scrap, you hear a tech launch, a big one. And there's actually, you can see through the boarded up windows, and here there's sort of a flash of blue light when it happens.
That must have been the mountain.
The building finally collapsed inside the mountain of methane. Yeah.
Well, I hope no one was in there. I'm glad we weren't. Anyway, so you have one trauma, right?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
How many successes do I need to take that away?
One.
Just one?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think your med kit gives you an auto one, doesn't
My
it?
med cat gives me my med cat?
Med cat.
My med kit gives
I'm
me
here
an
to help.
auto
Yeah.
success.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So you
so I
just
don't
burn.
even-
It just burns one of its resources, right? It has to be recharged.
Yes.
So yeah,
So
just burn one of
it
those.
just-
Yeah.
It just burns one of its technically the rules didn't say that. It just gives me support. It's like a support tool, but I had
And I figured with your skill to get this kind of for free, you'd have to use some stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe
I
not
mean,
every
it
time,
makes
but in this
sense.
time, yeah.
It makes sense that you would use a charge of it.
Yeah.
But the wording doesn't specify that you
No.
have to, but we can make it a house rule that we have to.
I think we should, and because it's so easy, you don't have to pay to recharge, right? All you have to do is get to the Citadel, and it's like
Yeah, that's
instant
fair.
recharge. Same with Sid and anybody that's got their stuff that recharges, or Coas. Yeah, you just got to get to your place, and bam, it recharges, right?
Okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So use one
charge for that. So
one charge.
yeah, you lose the little scalpel, the little one-time use scalpel to carefully cut away the I want to say jeans that are all covered in plastic, and to sort of
Probably.
and then to pop the little bit of plastic across off the top of the boot before even trying to dealing with the burn inside, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a process during which everybody but you may take a break because you're busy. But the rest of them, if they want, can take
I
their
had a
5-minute
question.
break. Yep.
I still had one trauma left, and
Yes.
I had taken time at the Citadel overnight.
Overnight, yeah. So that that auto heals. I mean, it would have been healed there. It doesn't auto actually a full night's rest does give you back one trauma. So
So Artemis, yeah, you don't have that trauma anymore.
and remember, anybody that's taken a trauma tonight or inflicted one gets keep putting stuff on your sheet because there's the build and the develop and all that stuff is there too. So keep an eye on that. Start filling those wheels so we can start getting you guys getting more and more successes and starting to be
I'd
really
say
amazing.
develop and risk for me.
I wish there's
sometimes.
a
Yep.
reverse inflict because I do that.
Yes.
And then
Yep.
I'm creating a thief.
You absolutely definitely develop character development, and yeah, I'll give you creating a thief. Yeah, what else does a militia do? You're creating a criminal.
No. He has to know the criminal stuff before he can become a cop.
Yeah,
That's-
best cops are criminals. That's your argument? Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man,
probably
there you go.
best as a poster rather than a developed argument, but yeah.
Miss Coates
Criminal informant.
Yes. Oh, there you go. He can't be a criminal informant unless he's a criminal.
Exactly.
So yeah, okay, I got you. This makes
I'm
perfect
setting
sense.
up for success.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wanna call
So we
Uh,
successfully excavate Artemis's boot.
Yes. So you guys dig all that stuff out of there and use some of the ointments and unguents that are in your kit to salve the burn.
A lot of the bandages that are in there, and
And yeah, so yeah, the end result, Artemis, because I'm assuming you weren't making this elegant, Delilah. So it's just got a chunk of jeans is cut away. If you're gonna turn this into shorts, it's still gonna be a project. It wasn't like you don't have one leg
I
that's
mean,
just shorts
she's-
now. So, yeah,
I
keep
mean,
ripped up.
she's not
Yeah.
clearly by all the stains and stuff she already has on her clothes.
Yeah.
She's not worried too much about the aesthetics of it.
The only thing I was thinking of is there is an area of your knee now which is going to be covered in paint and whatnot, like the rest of you is if you don't. But with that, you heal up. And then you're here, so you can take your 5 minutes too. So go ahead and take a break and recover your cards. We're
Then
going to
we
quick.
need to go see Verite.
Yes, you guys start heading off in that direction towards Verite. We're going to cut back to Coas now. You and your friend, you hear the scream 2 floors up. Well, 60 feet of stairs up, you're muted.
You're muted.
60 feet of stairs, 20 meters of ladder, and then a flight of stairs, plus the blocked door that you blocked between you and a screaming teenager.
I've got a question. The
Yep.
scream.
Yep.
How does it sound? What kind of?
It's either
tone
Thomas.
is it?
It's either Thomas or Thomas has walked in on a naked 13-year-old girl, because it's almost impossible to tell at that age which of the voices is screaming. But it's a teenager for sure.
Can I tell like the?
The only one you know
guess-
that's up there is Thomas.
Can I tell the tone of the scream? As in this, shocked, mortified.
Give me how many perception?
I could do reason. If you
Reason?
for
Yeah, those
something
both they're both
different.
the same. So yeah, how many clubs have you got in hand?
One.
One. Okay. With one success, you are 99% sure that it's Thomas, and you're about 50%, 50-50. It's either terror or surprise.
Both are kind of not good here.
It was really
It's
quick.
not-
It was
it's-
just and then it's gone.
Okay, so I'm gonna burn that.
Okay.
That's
Oh, no, actually, no. That was just me. This is my
okay.
way of doing. How good are you at this? This is not in the books. This how many of these do you have? That just shows me. I like it because it's variable.
It's a soft check.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to
So I'm
an
gonna
actual
stow.
skill
I'm gonna put the lantern on my belt, and I'm gonna quickly make up
Yeah,
the ladder with my thing in the hand. I'm gonna be rushing this.
absolutely.
I'm gonna be attempting to go as fast as I can.
You
here.
bolt up the ladder, boot back out of the fireplace into the room, shove the whole cabinet out of the way, pull open the doors, just in time to hear from upstairs another screams. No, 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 no.
That did not go through.
Yeah, you
Oh.
went so loud there. Your
Sorry.
mic.
It was just no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, no, no.
I'm
You
gonna
come through that
I'm gonna
time?
yell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yell.
Yeah,
So that way they know that there's someone else here.
yeah.
no, you're supposed to surprise them.
No, I.
he's got cop thing. He can
He's gonna
The
he's gonna
authority
yell
clench.
like something that like the militia would always yell. So
Yeah.
like Florence militia, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever, something like that. So Florence militia. Yeah, and he's gonna
Yeah.
start making his way up with his repeating crossbow.
And
train
you start,
to
yeah,
where
you
this
pull
happens.
out the crossbow and so you're looking up the stairs. It's one of those big, long, swoopy, round staircases made out of teak, like it's probably the prow of a ship that's 500 years old. It's one of those places, right? Just
You've
this,
officially given him a head start, but okay.
yeah.
No,
He's all the way up there.
knows-
Yep.
He knows that whoever
Yep.
else is there is probably getting a head start, but it's Coas is rationalizing that whatever they
fuzz
might
scatter.
do to the kid,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it will give them pause that now there's a militia here, so
Yep.
whatever
Oh,
might
yeah.
happen to the kid will not happen, and
Yep.
they might try to flee. Or
It is
A
actually a
door-
police tactic. It is
Yep.
actually a police tactic.
Let them know
to
you're
yell
here.
s-
Yeah,
to
they're
scream,
they're
"I'm
not.
the
Yeah,
police."
it gives them an out, right? Is what you're really doing.
Yeah.
You're giving them a way to like you
or
guys
else
can
they
fuck
think
off
it's just
now.
them,
Yeah.
them and a kid, and
Yeah.
they can get away with whatever happens.
Either way, what happens in this instance
Mhm.
is at the top of the stairs, as you yell that, partway down the hall, you hear a door slam open. Like just, and the sound of running footsteps. Just, and as you look up, you see Thomas barreling towards the top of the steps, running full bore. And he's kind of juggling. It looks like he's got almost a book in his hands. And he's kind of like doing this as he's coming, and there's pages falling out behind him. And he's running headlong for the top of the stairs, and he's looking down at the book,
No,
trying to.
I'm
say,
gonna yell
no,
out
no, 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 no,
to
as
the
the
side,
pages
to the
fall out.
side, as in I'm
Yeah.
assuming there's like he's coming. Let's say there's like the stairs come up to a hallway, and
Yes.
he's like running, and he's
Yeah,
gonna
he's
come
running
like this.
down the hall towards the stairs. Yeah.
I'm gonna yell to get to the other side of the stairs as I
Yeah.
run up the stairs.
Okay, so you start running up the stairs. He skids to his top at the top of the stairs, and as he does so, the last like handful of pages fall out of the book and hit the floor, and they kind of fall apart almost into dust. And he's just holding this old leather book.
Binding?
I wanted to say
Binding.
hide,
Binding.
but the binding and the covers, right? And he just looks up at you and goes, "No, no, no."
And then he's gonna still keep going up, and he's gonna say, "Is there anyone else here?"
No.
He's gonna keep his eyes trained.
Look,
Okay.
look. And he reaches behind him and pulls a handful of these pages, and they're all falling apart in his hand. And that's what he was upset about, is it's falling apart. And you look at, and it was probably that thick. And you look at the cover, and it's masterworks of Italian art. So you realize he thought he'd found the ultimate source book for his new job. And that's why he screamed. But it's falling apart in his hands. And then you yelled and he panicked. So he was going to bring it to the only adult he knew to help him fix it. And at least you stopped him from charging headlong off the top of the stairs because he was that panicked. But he says, no. And you stop and listen, and there's no other sound up here.
Thomas. Remember when I said that words have meaning?
Yes.
When you yell like that, when you that incites panic. That incites that there's a dire situation at hand.
It was. This was all falling apart. There was Da Vinci's in here, and did you know David used to go all the way up? It fell apart, but there was a picture in here.
He was
What I'm saying
17
is
feet tall.
instead of yelling, no, constantly try to, as you're yelling, give information.
So the book is
what's
falling
happening.
apart. The book is falling apart. The book is falling apart. The
Exactly.
book is falling apart. Okay.
And then I would have assessed that, and I would have acted accordingly. I probably could have told you to stop moving, so the book stopped, and put down the book so it would have stopped falling apart, if you will.
I mean, it's okay, really, because I found it in the library.
And
he just kind of drops the empty one on the floor like that's done now.
Listen, Thomas, you have good intentions here, but you're going about it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. Firstly, you're touching things without realizing the consequences of touching things. Like you, for example, here, the book. You picked it up. What was
Out
your
of
first
character? I'm screaming. He's 13. Of course he fucking did.
I know.
But
I know. But Koyas is
I know. I just had to
Koyas
say
is
it.
trying to, yeah.
It was like it was written all over my face. I had to explain the look. So, yeah.
What was your first instinct when seeing this book?
I thought that it was like a bigger, better version of that one that I have now.
That's
so I
great.
could go get more stuff for my room.
Exactly. That's a great thought to have. However, you have to remember, you have to be slow. We can be careful. You can take your time with things. It's all about taking your time, going slow.
Uh-huh.
Especially with a lot of this stuff is very old. And as you see, as you learned, it can it's really good at destroying itself.
Uh-huh. Okay, don't touch stuff.
No,
You
you
want
can
to
touch
see
stuff.
the
Just go
library?
slow. Yes, let's go see the library.
And he just spins on his heel and walks down the
I'm
hall.
doing a good job.
Throws you parent of the year here.
Yeah.
And he just kind of you see him walk up to the doors and then he stops and he turns and like he clicks the things and actually just opens them. He still opens both for no good reason, but he opens them only enough for him to get through and there's no sort of boom entry. And he steps
Hey,
in and all of a
good
sudden
job.
he's like he's walking on eggshells. He's walking like he's going to cause an earthquake if he puts his whole weight on the floor. Kind of pizzicato violin strings in your head.
You're gonna give this kid a fucking complex, bud.
But it's hard to even focus on him because he said the library. It's big enough that it's got those ladders on wheels that go along the sides because it's too tall to reach the top shelves. It's an entire chamber. It's too big to be a room. There's thousands of volumes in here, all ancient beyond belief. This place smells like musty book times a billion.
I'm gonna put a hand on Thomas before he can touch anything. Ooh. Maybe we shouldn't be in this room.
But this is where all the stuff I'm not gonna touch is. And you can just see his little fingers. He's touching stuff in his mind. He's just touching that, and he's touching that, and he's touching that.
What are you? This is a lot of old information and a lot of old knowledge here.
And it's almost all about art.
Mm-hmm. How about this? We grab one book, choose your favorite looking cover. We grab one book, and then we're gonna tell other people about this place.
My favorite
'Cause,
looking cover. I can read, you know.
Yeah, but sometimes the covers are cooler than the writing.
I know which one I want.
Which one do you want?
And he get very carefully. He's trying so hard. He's still leaving a trail. A blind dog with no sense of smell could fall through the dust. But you know he's trying. And he walks partway down one aisle, and it becomes clear. You can see from the footprints. He's been in that 2 minutes he
This
was
whole place,
gone. He
yeah.
was just like a kid in the candy store, right? Just running around looking at stuff. And he gets to this one sort of in the back corner, and you can see him reaching for it. It's like it's too big for me to show. It's like I don't know what is that, half a meter from top to bottom, and probably the same. It's almost square. It's one of those old
Of like those
manuscripts.
illuminated manuscripts.
Exactly what it is, with
Yeah.
the big brass bindings, with the rivets and the leather and the incredible illuminated art. Even the spine of it, the title's half gone because it was illuminated and it was painted in paint and it's peeled off. But you see most of the word arte and some other words that I'm not even going to try. It is a list. It's like the Doomsday Book for art, right? It's at some point in history somebody went, this is every important piece of art that currently exists in this country. That's what he's reaching for. It's like it's all hand quills. There's no art in it. It's a history book. It's like a
just
ledger.
manifest.
Yeah.
It's manifest. Yeah.
But
Not
it's
just
all,
a history
you
book,
know,
it's of the really valuable art of the time that was made.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
not even any of the most
No.
current
no,
stuff.
99% of it probably doesn't even exist anymore. But he is who he is. This
He
kid
doesn't
is
know
an
that.
art thief
Yeah.
in the bud. And
Koyas
so,
doesn't know this.
and this is his, as far as he's thinking source material, right? What can I steal? What can I steal? So,
Perfect choice.
and he's two hands to take it out. He pulls it. You see the dust falling off like little waterfalls as he pulls it out. Kind of stumbles back because it's heavy, right? You can tell it's wood under the leather, the covers. It's got one
Oh
of
God.
the straps that comes around with the not a lock on it, but there's like a pin through a hole that's
As the
holding it all
John
together.
Williams score swells when he opens the book.
Oh
for the
yeah,
first time.
he's not even he reaches for that little clip and then he stops and looks at you. Not touching.
You can touch it. Just be very, very careful. You don't want what happened with the other book to happen with this one,
And he
right?
right, and he puts it down on. There's one of those V tables for the books, and he knows what it's for. He puts it in there, and he very carefully undoes that little mechanism and sets it to the side and does the two. Like all of a sudden, he's looking like an archaeologist, right? You told him to pay attention. He's paying attention like only a teenager can. Just 1,000% focused on this. Very carefully opens it up. And inside on the first page is an illumination of Florence. Like the gold and blue and purple. You know enough of history to know that this page has the paint on this page would have been enough to buy a block of Florence at its peak, right? This is a bajillion-dollar book, and this is its frontispiece. It's got the Latin name inside. The greatest art of all time. It's signed. It's got the the editors and all the people who put the list together. And like I said, all gold and blue and purple. And
All the expensive colors.
he freezes. Even he, like it's even gotten through his thick little brain that this is something really, really special. Yeah, exactly. Medieval Italian. This isn't a book about art. The book is art. And he's just frozen. The creative mind. Thank you. I just got goosebumps all the way up my back because suddenly I was standing in that room looking down at this, realizing what was there. It's like to turn a page is almost sacrilege, right? This is almost a holy book.
This is book porn.
Almost, yeah. And you guys thought the magazine was
soundtrack.
porn, so this is a callback. Ta-da!
And
So-
Ghost is gonna come down. I think you officially did it. I gave you 2 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that, to find the most interesting thing that you could find. And you just did it in less than a couple of days.
I'm gonna have to take this stand too.
Yeah.
And he starts like trying to pick up the whole thing. He hasn't even closed it yet, and he's trying to pick up
can't-
the whole wooden stand
let me
and the
help
book
you.
and everything.
Well, how about this? You found the most interesting thing probably here all in Florence. You've got what it takes. You definitely have that investigator intuition to you. I think you'll make an excellent militia one day if you want to do that. But honestly, I think you may take up an interest in art. I mean,
I could
already.
just buy the militia.
Usually it's better to keep than to sell off. It's not about the money.
Oh, I see. Okay, carry the base. And he
Yeah,
very
I'll-
carefully closes
I'll
the
carry
book
the
and
base.
locks
And when
it
we
back
get
up.
back to your
And
place,
he does that thing like when you give the little kids something to carry and tell them it's important. He's walking out like, just, yeah.
1,000%
I've
focus.
got the stand here.
Mhm.
When we get back to your place, though, I'm gonna have to go back to my sister's mentor. Mentor is the right word.
Patron.
Patron.
That's
Okay.
where he lives. This is Thomas
yeah,
is their kid. Yeah. You mean home? Yeah. That's where we're
Yes.
going.
And unfortunately, the rest of the stuff kind of pales in comparison to this. So
Yeah, we're
and
gonna have to sneak in.
Yeah. So the rest of the stuff I'm gonna have to return back to the other museums, but that's okay with you, right?
Oh yeah, you can take it all. I just want this.
Yeah. Perfect.
So
Let's go.
they're gonna shorten this up a bit. You take him
Yes,
back to his.
course, sorry.
No, it's all good. This is going to work perfectly. He takes you back to his place / the patron's house, through the yard, up through a window into a bedroom. It's obviously this kid's bedroom because you look in and it's like it's all there, all this
Behold my
amazing
stuff.
art. Like you realize again, yeah, okay, we've got this illuminated manuscript that's literally priceless. But this kid's still got millions of florins of art in here, and some of it is dangerously close to the leftover spaghetti that he had for lunch, right? So it's like some of it's almost tipping over, some of it's in the sunlight that shouldn't be. But it all fits in a backpack, and he very, very easily is convinced to give you all of it back as long as he can keep the book and that thing. In fact, he asks you to take it to clear space on his desk, so he's got a place to put this book.
And basically, I'm going to tell him that this book should keep him occupied for a while.
Yeah,
for
yep,
a long,
yep,
long time.
Yep.
He's not even paying attention, is he?
Nope.
Nope.
As
he's reading
you
the book.
As you go to leave, you sort of turn around and look. And it's a big house, but it's you can see it all.
Yeah.
There's no motion, no lights, no smoke out of the chimneys. No sign of life whatsoever, except for that teenage boy in his book. Meanwhile, back at the railway yard, the three of you are heading back to. Yep.
I was
Okay.
can I
Yep.
just do like 5 more seconds to wrap
Absolutely.
up?
Yeah.
I'm going to return. Actually, no. I'm going to go ahead and plant some of the items in an abandoned place
Okay.
that I
Oh,
know
I
that
see.
no one's
Okay.
ever
I thought
been
you were
in.
going to say. I thought you were going to frame somebody.
No, not
He's
yet.
gonna friendly neighborhood cider man that shit.
This
No,
bastard's been getting away with shit for years. He's going
I'm gonna
down.
plant that in an abandoned
Yep.
place, and then I'm gonna write up the case as if
Yeah.
someone took it and put it there, although
And
the perpetrator
You found
fled.
it. Yeah. You followed the
Yes.
trail. You followed the trail and found it, but the perpetrator got away. Okay. So you go and you fill out that. All the time wondering at least about that kid up there. Now, the other three of you are heading to go see Verite, right?
Mhm. Sid is.
Yeah.
The other two as well?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
limping slightly, carrying all kinds of weird tech, and I mean like weird tech. Because some of it's made by Verite, which is weird, and some of it is made by Tech, and that's even weirder. You see a group of people sort of milling around by the legs of David, and they've got signs and they're protesting. And as you get closer, you see the signs say things like, "Don't bring back the past. Leave the poison outside." And when they see you approaching, they turn the signs towards you and are vigorously and loudly protesting you.
Sid's got a headache. He is not going to stand for this. He stops.
Artemis keeps going to Veritas.
Just keep walking.
He,
Yeah. Okay.
He puts the water umbrella and the mask and all the stuff that's
Yeah.
Verite's
Yeah.
in a very deliberate spot where they could see him putting it down.
Yeah.
And he stands up and he walks over to them, forge hammer in hand.
Yeah.
His apron in full view.
Yeah. Make it official. Delilah,
And he goes,
I just want to quick interrupt because Delilah, you see that start. What do you do?
So Sid is just like done with all the shit.
Sid's heading for a confrontation with protesters. Artemis is also done, but they're just going to Veritas.
She's a technosopher. She's not going to be able to tell them anything.
Yes. Delilah, I'm assuming, is also done. What do you do? I love doing this to parties. It's like, we finished. It's like, no, you fucking didn't. How do you respond?
Delilah's gonna kind of... Normally, Delilah kind of likes to sort of brandish her apron.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really see Sid do that.
Yeah.
It's not so much that his apron brandishes, it's just that he's angry enough that the towel comes off.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
You sort of accidentally make it official. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But either way, yeah. I can see it from Delilah's point of view. It's like, oh shit, Sid just made this. He just pulled the power card, the one I never thought he'd play.
Right? Yeah, Delilah just saw Sid get real, and she wants to see what happens.
Okay.
So she's just gonna kind of lean back on the base of the feet of David.
Yep.
And watch.
Which are still, the toenails are still slightly painted, but it's starting to fade because it was just chalk. If you remember, they got painted last week. So
And
another
her,
callback.
her gas mask is kind of, it's like still hanging around her
Yeah.
neck, but it's like down.
Yeah, and you can't. Well, maybe you can see it. Maybe there's a fountain around somewhere or a shiny piece. But where the gas mask was is all nice and clean. The rest of it's sort of dark and dirty and covered in ash and soot and sweat and everything
So
else.
nobody would
And
recognize
hair all
it.
stuck to your head. Yeah, all that good stuff.
So they've got a very good view of Sid's angry face.
And again, Sid,
Angry
yeah, same thing.
mustache.
It's like the reverse. It's like the reverse raccoon eyes that you get from wearing goggles, right? It's here, right? So yeah, this is all just nasty, and then there's this face, this beard, and mustache just screaming at you. So how do you? So yes, please proceed. Now that we know who's following who.
Yeah. So
Artemis
Sid's
probably would have had her architect
goggles on as well. So yeah,
too,
you've just
so-
got the stripe and the stripe. Yeah, it looks like war paint. Okay, Sid.
He's going to charge forth, and he's going to look for the most offended one of them, because that's usually the leader.
Yep.
And he's going to get it right in his face. He's like, "Is there a problem?" Like right in his face.
We don't want the death to come back. Keep it all outside.
In case you haven't noticed, the death never left.
But don't stir up trouble when you don't have to.
He just sort of looks at him and is like, "Look, if we stay the way things are, people are just going to get more hurt. More people are going to die. We're trying to stop people getting hurt. More people need to be safe. You want to be safe? We're not going to do that with the stuff we have. We need the stuff we had and figure out how it works." He's just absolutely mad, because to him, the medical failings killed his mother.
Yep.
The safety failings killed his father.
Uh-huh.
He's furious these people think that just towing the line, doing things the way things have always been, instead of trying to make things better.
Yep. And like these people almost always do, they fold. They start just putting down signs and walking away. They don't try and justify it. They're out of words, right? Because all they were doing, if you noticed, is spitting phrases, right? There's no argument. There's just phrases, right? It's just empty noise. And you confronted them with logic that they can't fight. And so they
Which
just
is probably
sort of,
why Artemis kept going, because she's probably seen it before and is like,
it's as Brian Cox did a video about how very, very difficult it is to argue with idiots. Because they will not reason, right? So these people were beyond that, but you chose to reason in a very emotionally direct fashion, and they did not respond to the reason. They responded to the fact that a man with a giant hammer and a lot of power was standing in front of them, telling them they were dicks. Backed up by another, whether you uncovered the thing or not, they can see it, right? It's social custom that you don't apply the rules or the titles, but they can see it. So standing in front of them, who are just a group of people, are two very powerful entities in this town. And they just fold and disappear.
Mm-hmm. Sid doesn't move. Like, they start to move, and he's still got that lean, that 13 degrees forward lean.
Yep. All the weight's up on your toes, shoulders are up. Yeah.
Delilah is going
to
to
fight.
Delilah's going to gently come up behind Sid, put a hand on his shoulder. He's probably like a good 5 inches taller than her.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna say, "Hey, you're already making a difference. That's what we're supposed to do, right?"
Yeah. And he's just the hammer's bouncing at this point. He needs to tell Verite. Actually, no, fuck it, I'll tell him myself. And he goes back to his stuff.
Turn to grab your stuff. Meanwhile, Artemis, because you went first, you get there, you get to the hall, the alleyway, you look behind, you see the scene play out. You're still ahead. You got no reason to stop. So you head down to his place. You walk down the stairs, knock and open the door.
She thinks about kicking
Yeah.
the door open,
Yeah.
judges like her like burned healing leg
Yep.
and her other not burned healing leg. I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't want to stand on that one, but I also want to kick with that one.
Yeah.
So then instead she like shoulders it open.
Yeah, from the yeah, that's
Um,
right. From the knees down, you've taken a shit kicking so far.
So she's like, I'm just gonna shoulder through,
Yeah.
and
Bam.
she's like gonna step a few steps in and go, Verite.
You're yelling at a wall of garbage. The tunnel has collapsed. It goes about 10 feet in and then. And that is where we'll drop the curtain on tonight. Whew. Kept them separated all night. I hope nobody felt like they had to wait too long before I bounced back and forth between the two. I hope that was fairly well balanced. I enjoyed it immensely. We got a huge amount done tonight. I'm enjoying all the storylines. Phil, who knew that Coas would be the comic relief for this? I love it. I absolutely love it. The Coas and this kid, like he just worst parenting advice ever. It's absolutely magnificent. You are going to make a master art criminal out of this.
Mhm.
And when they go to jail in 20 years and they get taken and they have to write their memoirs, you're going to be exposed.
Well, he's hoping now that he's found like this interesting thing,
Oh,
he's gonna
God.
stop. He's gonna stop, but that's probably not gonna happen.
He was just starting to get addicted to stealing, right? Because it's kind of cool, and he's good at it. And you've just given him the ultimate guide to things to steal. So
Again,
Yep.
Coas really bleeding that like annoyed older
Yep.
sibling energy
Yep.
that like
Why am I in charge? Why doesn't mom
I'm
deal
not your
with this?
parent.
Yeah.
I can't parent you, but I also know
And
have to-
yes, that's why I made it quite clear that there doesn't appear to be anybody else in that house, Coas. He appears to live there himself. You've not talked to your sister. I mean, I'm assuming you guys aren't that close, so you haven't talked to her that she's never seen her patron. She gets letters with instructions. She goes there. There's a room full of stuff. She does her thing, and then leaves, and gets paid in however whatever the barter system is that you're using at that time.
So yeah, he's gonna have some questions.
So you guys need to talk. But
Yes.
oh, that is an amazing heart. That is a stunning logo. Wow, that's beautiful. The little face on very cool. Anyway, so thank you, Phil, for that. Thank you very much to Robin /Thunderscape _7. No underscore, right? Robin Thunderscape 7. Robin. That's only one person joke.
_7.
_7. There it is. Yes. Either way, thank you for bringing us Artemis. I like this sort of great. Now what? I like this. Like what? Yeah, it's really cool. It's very, very different than the other characters I've seen you play, so it's really fun to watch that. Thank you. Liking that a lot. Sid, you managed. Sid, somehow you're not the father figure in this one.
I know, right? He's the
Bison,
only-
you're always the father figure in these games, so which makes sense. I mean, you and me are the only gray hairs here, so
Right.
it just kind of makes sense. But it's really cool. You're not this time, so in fact, you might
He's
be.
still got
you're
a
like
bit
the
of a
troubled uncle.
yeah.
So,
He
Definitely
has a
the-
dad mode, but
yeah,
he's not
but it's
the
more
dad.
like it's looking for a fight, Dad. It's not like I will support you in everything you try. It's like I will kick your ass.
I will
just
beat up
beat
your
you.
enemy's dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
You say your dad can beat up my dad? No, I don't think so.
My uncle can beat up both of you.
There you go.
But thank you so much for playing that character for us. I love it. Like you said, he's got this sort of mad uncle and energy, so we'll see where that goes. And Delilah. Oh, Delilah. Oh, by the way, Sid and Delilah both take another develop for that last scene for sure.
I don't
have room
I'm
for another
full up
develop.
on
You're all full on
developments.
developments? Okay. Pitch me something else.
My problem is I need risk. I
Okay,
didn't
so you
really-
need to
the
either put
only
yourself
real
in.
risk.
Actually,
the only real
no,
risk
you're
is,
getting one. The walking into the foam, completely unknowing walking into the foam. That's got to be a risk.
Okay.
So
yeah,
who
I'll
else
take
is
that,
who's
sure.
missing what? Let's do this. Let's get some circles filled.
Um
Delilah, what are you missing?
everything but develop.
So you got 3 develops and nothing else?
I have 1 full gear. Shoot, I just closed my character
Oh, you got 1
sheet.
full gear? Okay, so you're working on your second one. What are you missing?
Everything but develop.
Okay, so
Yeah. Oh,
oh.
sorry, I don't have 1 full gear. I need an inflict and then I'm full up on develops.
Inflict is either take or cause damage. You didn't do that. I'm going to stretch the rules and give you one for healing. That kind of makes sense, right?
Inflict damage upon the wounds.
You healed the inflicted
You
damage, so
inflicted
that's what
negative
that's what a
damage.
doctor
I
does
feel like
with
that
with
fits.
wounds.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
It does like
yeah,
it kind of feels unfair that there isn't a recognition for healing,
yeah. So let's do
especially
that.
for how important healing is in this game.
Yes, exactly. So let's do that. That you get an inflict for healing
Okay.
because you seems like your character is not spending a lot of time inflicting or being
No.
inflicted upon. So yeah, let's give you experience or let's give you that dot for doing
Can I have
your
two
role.
since I healed Coas in that
Yes.
last one?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Okay, so
Because you do need essentially you need 2 full gears before you can do anything
Yeah.
upgrade wise.
I have
We have to do the thing where you have to build out a full gear first, and then you can build out a second gear.
Nope.
Right?
You can have up to
Nope.
3 of each thing. So if
Oh.
you've inflicted 3 times, you have 1 inflict on each of the 3 gears.
Oh, then I should probably have my.
Can I
Yeah.
argue that because Delilah is not a very like social relationships person.
Mhm.
She's very, academic,
Yep.
and the word I use a lot is indoctrinated. So she's
Yep.
very like straightforward and straight and
Orthodox.
narrow.
Yes.
Can I argue that I begin to create a bond with Sid if Sid also feels that way?
Yeah. The two
I
of you
don't-
are sort of both. I mean, Sid's already outside the box, right?
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
sort of coming to the conclusion that maybe there might even, you're still at the point where you straight laced, yeah. You're just realizing that there is a box, right? That you
Mhm.
can go outside.
Yeah.
It. So, yeah. Yeah, I think we were paying those off with development. That seems like a development point to me.
Yeah.
I would say that Sid is Delilah's bad influence.
Well, influence. I'm
In
going to take
terms of-
bad
in terms
away
of
because part of it
orthodoxy,
is a
because-
bad influence, technically, from where Delilah is right now. It's like, ooh, he doesn't follow all the rules. That's a bad influence. On
I
the
feel like
other hand,
Artemis
if
is
you
the-
if
is
you
the
end up
bad
making them if you end up making them a free thinker because of the way that you approach things, well, then you're a good influence, maybe. So
Yeah,
let's just go
I
with
mean, like bad
influence.
influence in terms of like from the orthodoxy.
Yes, from the
Because,
Citadel's point
yeah.
of view, yes, you are
Yeah.
a problem.
Sid is definitely like a very moralistic person. So.
Yes. So, Coas, what are you missing?
Orthodoxy is a good word.
Actually, so now I have my second full gear
Okay.
because I didn't inflict from last time.
Yep.
then,
Yep.
Because I didn't realize that
Perfect.
you can.
That's what I
do
really want.
multiple-
Is I want everybody heading out of here tonight with 2 full gears, so you can
Yeah.
upgrade by next.
So
week.
I had an
We're
inflict from last
justifying
time.
that as hard as it takes.
I did a risk by going down and into that unknown cellar
Mhm.
that we didn't know was just a wine cellar.
Yep.
I did a.
Heavy
You
wine
didn't
cellar.
touch any 100-year-old glass bottles of like the pressure inside those, because they turn into wine and they're under pressure, but then that turns into vinegar and all that carbonation goes away, and they actually are under negative pressure. You touch them, they implode. So you would have had a glass and vinegar implosion if you had touched anything in that room.
That's assuming that none of them last.
Which would have set off the next one, set off the next one, set off the next. As long as sort of 1 out of 10 was vinegar, that would have been bad.
I
anyway.
definitely want to say there was some development there.
Yep.
Both on his part and both on the kid's part.
Mhm.
But
Oh yeah.
both, it's on his
He's
part.
becoming an
And
art
then-
thief. We don't keep track of his experience.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then
Tenure is not a role in this game.
the only one that's a bit kind of loose is the create. Is I didn't create anything physically, but I felt like
I would say in the development of your leads.
Yeah.
You created a crime scene in a different
Yeah,
house.
that's
You did create a crime
that's
scene.
very loose. Well, it's
Because-
very
because
loose.
Created a monster.
Yeah, that's from chat. Yeah.
Oh,
Take the point for this. Yes. Like I said,
There we go.
I want everybody to have 2. So,
Yes.
I don't have 2 yet, but I can't justify anything else.
what are you missing?
Create and risk.
Well, I'll give you a risk for not coming through, because risk is either you take a risk or you save somebody from an outrageous risk, and by not escalating the situation, crawling through the door and backing up Sid, you didn't escalate that situation. Therefore, you defused the risk. Right?
Okay, I'll
I'll
take
give you
it.
that. Like I said, we're stretching tonight, and maybe not out later, but I want you guys to get what I want is you guys to be able to start generating more successes so we can start making full use of the range of things that you can do as successes. Because up till now, we've only ever done damage and removal of consequences, annulment, right?
So
There's
with
other things you can do. So I want you to guys. Yeah,
with two
So I
gears, I
just
could
need to
spend those
create
two gears and then take out like an ace, for example, and
exactly.
put in
And put
a
in
thing of the
anything.
same
1 point
suits.
gives you one to either from
1 to
ace to
7.
7 in the
Whichever is the next up.
Yeah,
in
the next
that
one up,
suit.
yeah.
Got it.
Because I replaced my Ace of Hearts with a 5.
Yeah, because you had ace
Yeah,
to 4.
I'll-
Now you
I'll-
have
I'll
2
do
to
the same
5.
thing.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you never
Oh.
end up with more of a suit than you had before, but the values go up. So you don't ever generate more successes by that. What you get is you generate more successes because you can add up to multiples of 8
Got it.
inside that group, right? Because all of them start to go up. So Artemis, how
Yeah,
close are
getting rid
you?
of those aces is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they're at one
I
success, but so is a
Yeah.
deuce, right? So
I have one full gear, and then I just have inflict in another one.
okay. So you've created all kinds of stuff. I mean, did you take a create for the art you made for your patron?
Yes.
Okay,
You're
you did
missing
take
an
that one.
inflict. You threw that grenade.
You took
No,
damage.
I
so you
did
should
two
have
inflict.
at least 2 inflicts, yeah.
Yeah, so I filled up one gear, and then I have another one that only has inflict.
Because because I was going to say just tonight you inflicted damage and then you also took damage.
damage.
So yeah, you got 2 of those. What were you
was the
missing?
risk?
All the other 3, develop, risk, and create in another gear. I only have the one gear full.
Oh, okay. I mean, you definitely had character development I mean, talking to the kid outside. Did you get one for that last time?
No.
That should have been one. Yeah. This
You
is
took
this
a
is teaching
risk
me a
for the
lesson. We
gear.
got to be really, really flexible with these because it doesn't matter, right? The more powerful you guys get, I can always adjust for that. But I just want you guys to be able to start using the whole rule set, right? I want you to be able to start inflicting conditions on people and extending damage and all that good stuff. So, yeah, so that's easy enough. In fact, we're just going to call. I'm just done. We're just going to justify the whole thing as a group, and you have 2 gears worth of stuff. You just haven't filled it in yet.
Okay.
So yeah,
So-
I'm taking a
Changing
4
the
of
ace.
diamonds. Yes.
So you're taking
I
the
think
ace up.
that-
You had ace to
I
3.
think that as a group we've
Absolutely,
overall
you
earned 2 gears
absolutely
worth.
deserve an upgrade so far, and this seems like a good spot for it. You just came through this. I mean, there's still this moment of frustration because you haven't got the verite yet. You don't know where Coas is, but everybody's kind of everybody's developed considerably since when we started in all ways. So absolutely, you deserve that. So, yep, done. With that, it's 8:15 bloody 8. So my time. It's 11:15 for some of you people.
Delilah yet.
I didn't. I thought I did.
Yeah, you
Okay,
didn't
thank you.
finish. No.
I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
finish.
you didn't
Sorry,
finish.
I didn't finish. I got distracted. What a surprise. Hells, what a shock. Playing Delilah for us this evening, the wonderful and marvelous Wayward Knight. Thank you. I like Delilah because you're the character's learning stuff, right? They're learning that maybe the way that they think isn't the only way to think. And you're playing that out really well, and I really like that. But I think what I like the most is that this character isn't snarky, and some of your characters have been. And I like the snarky character, but just like I said to Robin, I love seeing people playing a range of characters. So playing this unsure character is wonderful to see because the range. I mean, I know you are a Detroit-based actor, so oh, thank you, Pedigree, for the first-time chat with many, many, many things. Look at all the things.
I kind of feel like she's gonna be like the moral compass of the group.
Yeah,
Probably.
The
Well,
yeah,
also
I
having
want
the
to say
crisis of faith.
there's a type of an anchor called a sheet anchor in a ship. You use it in a storm to keep it doesn't really keep you in one spot, but it keeps the ship pointed in the same direction. It's basically like an underwater parachute, and it drags behind the ship that's being blown by the wind to keep you moving right in the right direction. And that, yeah, I like that idea, Phil. Yeah, that's kind of the Delilah's kind of the drogue chute that's keeping us pointed in the right direction.
It's really
So you're
funny
the parent this
because
time.
Before I
know.
joined Dirty 20 Gaming, the only characters I had played were like more unsure characters.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you've only seen my like snarky, cocky characters is really funny to me.
Well,
mean,
thank you then
way
for
we're
being
gonna-
comfortable enough to go to your go-to. So thank you.
I mean, I don't know what my go-to is at some point or at this point anymore. My go-to is to create interesting, compelling characters.
Well, then it worked.
That's my
It
goal.
absolutely worked. Absolutely worked. All four of these characters are interesting, compelling, but also believable. Right there, every single one of them, I get these moments of, this do I want to? I don't know what all that means. Pedigree. The
Mm-mm.
question marks at the end, I don't understand.
Is it a bot?
I
I'm trying
don't
to figure out
know.
if
looks
it's a
like
bot.
emoji spam.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out if it's a bot.
if they do too many, they're gonna get booted because there is emoji spam thing. I've got the spam kill on,
Mm-hmm.
but they're only doing 3 of each at a time, and I think that's kind of the limit.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Oh well, it seems to have stopped.
Anywho.
Either way, if you're a real person, hello, you're wonderful. Thank you for joining us. If you're not, hello, you're a bot. Doesn't fucking matter. You're being good. Yeah, it's the emoji that's being bad. So with that, let's just go. They're not a bot. Okay,
Anyways,
cool.
Okay.
Hello, hello. I don't speak emoji. Sorry. Look at me. I'm ancient. I don't speak
We're
emoji.
too old for this.
I don't get it.
I specifically don't speak Twitch emoji.
Yeah.
It is like 20 past 11.
It is. So we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Thank you all. There's
Yeah.
2
Let
thank
the
yous
East
left.
Coasters go to bed.
Thank you to Twitch chat, all of you that are not bots, which apparently is all of you. So that's wonderful. Thank you for joining us this evening. As always, thank you for interacting with us, even if I didn't understand the language. And thank you to all the people on YouTube. If you watch to here, please hit the like button and hit that notification button. I am getting better. I'm doing like 1 a day now, sort of as part of a ritual, but don't count on it lasting. So yeah, hit that notification button so you get reminded when we put stuff over on YouTube. Particularly this one, because this is getting some response on YouTube. We're getting numbers, so that's cool. So thank you, all the YouTube people.
Hey, it's
With that, let's get to the good part so some of our East Coasters can get to bed. Until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.